This is Adobe Illustrator CC 2020, Classroom in a Book, Chapter 3, Part 2. We're going to go ahead and continue working on creating our apple before the computer crashed. We were just about right here trying to figure out how to make this into a half circle. So what we're going to do is go into our properties and our transform and our more options. And if we look at our little pi start angle, let's go ahead and make it 180 and hit tab. And it's going to go ahead and make that a flat half circle for us. So that's always awesome. Let's go ahead and take our pointer, what was the center of ellipse, and draw it up over the smaller circles. So come here, and we're going to go ahead and make that into a apple tomato looking thing. So let's go ahead and do a select and make all three of those red instead. So pick any red you like. And we're going to go ahead and we need to have one more copy of this half circle before we're going to use it to make an orange. So we're going to do an Alt and drag. Oh, I have too many pieces. Undo. And grab just that bottom one. Do Alt and drag. So I've got just that part. And now I'm going to go ahead and grab my selection tool. Select all three of those and group them together, so now I have one single item when I want to move around my really awesome tomato. And let's do a Control S and save what we've got so far. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is play with our stroke and our width alignment. So with the selection tool, let's go ahead and, I have to save it because it crashed. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, so let's go ahead to our bottom of our rectangle, and we want to go ahead and add a little bit of extra color to it. The easiest way to do that is to play with the fill and the stroke. So let's go ahead and play with our element here. So let's go ahead and make that fill just slightly darker, and let's go ahead and set that stroke to be the same color as the bowl, and let's go ahead and play with a few other things as well. So let's go ahead and click on the word stroke. And we want to do the align stroke. We want it to be on the inside. So that's that third one in, or second one in. And let's go ahead and make it 2 points instead. So now you can kind of see we've got just a nice looking additional feature. And it makes it look like you did a lot of extra drawing, but you really didn't, which is always good as far as I'm concerned. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a deselect. And let's go ahead and Control S and save what we have so far. Next thing we're going to do is play with creating some of these flower elements. So they're actually polygons within polygons. So let's go ahead and scoot over to a little bit side of our board here. And we're going to go ahead and grab our Polygon Tool. Now with this one, it's one of those don't let go of the mouse button type of tricks. So let's go to our Polygon Tool. It's telling you to turn the smart guides off. I don't like turning smart guides on, just leave them on. Alright, so what we're going to do is drag our polygon, but don't let go. Now I'll undo. I'm going to come down a little bit lower. Alright, so I'm not going to let go. Now I'm going to go ahead and press that down arrow, and it's going to reduce the number of sides that we have on our polygon. So let's go ahead and leave it at 5. Don't let go. Hit Shift, and it's going to go ahead and straighten that out. And now we can go ahead and let go. Oh, let's do it one more time. I let go too fast. So I'm going to go down one more. So you can see how you can change the sides. And I'm going to hold Shift. I'm going to let go of my mouse, let go of my Shift. Okay, grab that move tool, move it down just a little bit. Alright, so right now we're going to leave it selected. So let's go ahead now and change that fill color. And let's go ahead and change that fill to some type of green for now, so we can see what's going on. And let's set the stroke to no color. And you can always hit Escape to make those panels go away. And let's go to our polygon. And let's go ahead to our widget over here on the side. So let's go ahead right here, and you can actually change the number of sides on your polygon really easy because it is a live object. Alright, so we've changed the 6. It's a live shape, so we can play with it. Now let's go ahead and edit it a little bit more. Let's go ahead and rotate, and as we rotate this, because we're actually going to turn this into a flower, we're going to hit Shift to make sure it rotates in 45 degrees. So it's come down here, it's come down 45. So it's kind of on point. I'm going to let go of my mouse. I'm going to let go of my Shift key. And now we're going to go ahead and we're actually going to turn this actually into a leaf, believe it or not. So let's go ahead and let's make that height and width a little bit different. So let's do the constrain, make them together. So let's go ahead and set that width. Oh, no, we want it to be deselected. We want the width to be about 0.35. And hit Tab or Enter. So now we've got this weird skinny polygon. And you'll notice that we have my Control Plus and zoom in. I'm going to try and zoom in. So right now, if I pull this one corner widget, it's going to change all of those at once, which I don't necessarily want. I want to just be able to round out these sides. So what I'm going to do is grab my direct selection tool, and I'm going to see I get 6 bullseyes instead. So now what we're going to do is collect just the ones we want to round out. So I'm going to click here and make it blue, hold Shift down, click, click, and click. And that's going to go ahead and make it so just those 4 are going to change. These other 2 are going to stay pointed. Now we're going to go ahead and grab one of those live corners and keep dragging way past until it turns into that red arc. And that's going to go ahead and give us our leaf shape. Let's go ahead and do a Control S and save what we've got so far. And now we're actually going to create some of the flowers. So let's go ahead, Control minus, zoom out. Let's close that out a little bit. And let's go ahead and remember, when we're playing with stars, the arrow keys up and down will add or remove arms. The Shift will straighten it out. And the Command or Control will make it so you can change the radius to make them longer or shorter. So let's go ahead and play with that a little bit. Let's grab our polygon and let's go ahead and drag it across. Don't release yet. We want it to be about 1 inch or so. Alright, don't release. Let's hit the down arrow so that we end up with 4 sides. And don't release yet. Let's go ahead and hit Control or Command. It's going to make it go straighter. Should be making it go straight. Oh, here we go. Control or Command. Why is it not doing that? Drag towards the center and nothing's happening. That's fun. Undo. Let's try it again. Alright, so I've got my here. We would hit our down arrow. We've got our 4 sides. Hit Command or Control and go ahead and drag in. And all it's doing is the wrong thing. That's fun. Alright, let's try it one more time. Of course, it worked probably when I practiced. Alright, so delete. Let's hit Polygon. Make it about 1 inch. 5 to 4 with our down arrow. Don't let go. Press Control, drag towards the center of the star. And absolutely nothing is happening. Does it mean Alt? Nope. This is just going to be a fun game for me today, isn't it? Alright, I'm going to push pause and see if I can figure out. Alright, I figured it out. We had the wrong tool. We were really supposed to be doing the star. Alright, so grab the star tool, grab a star that's about 1 inch. This will all work much better now. Now we're going to drag it down with our arrow to make it 4. Now if we hit Control, we can change how pointed or not pointed that is. So let's go ahead and bring it in just a tiny bit. And I'm going to let go of my mouse. And then I'm going to I I shouldn't have done that yet. I should have hit shift first. So let's do it one more time. So if I hit shift, it's going to go ahead and make that nice and straight. If I let go of my, oh, that's no. That's new. Apparently I tried to break it. Alright, so now we've got that star straightened out. We're going to go ahead and make that the outside of our star. So now I should have a second one. So we're going to go ahead and use my first one I drew as my second one. And we're going to go ahead and, so if you didn't do that, draw another one. And because it's going to go with however I had it set last, so I can get multiple of the same shape. If I hold my shift, I'll get constrained. Hold, let go. So now I've got an inside. Let's go ahead and change that. We can actually change the angle here if we wanted to. So you can kind of play with those different elements. Cancel. So let's go with our select the star. And let's rotate. So we can rotate it. Let's go to transform. And rotates down here. So we could go ahead and change it. See how we can kind of turn it a little bit there. Let's go ahead and do 45. So now it's a same string up and down. So let's go ahead and do 90 because what we're going to do is make this the center of this other one. Let's go ahead and drag it into the center of the other star. Now we can go ahead and make it, we're going to hold Alt and Shift and make it bigger from the inside until it kind of meets the outside. Bring it down a little bit. And let's go ahead and make the fill on that yellow. And let's go ahead and change the color of your flower. You can make it another yellow. You can make, oh, I just did the inside. Make sure you've got the right one. I've got this one, and I'm going to go ahead and make it a light orange flower. That's really awful. Let's make it pink instead. Whoa, even worse. So let's go ahead and just I'm going to choose that one instead. Alright, so then we've got our flower. I've got this extra one here. I'm going to hit delete. So now I'm going to go ahead and take these two elements and group them. So now I have I can make multiple flowers. Do a Control S and save what we have so far. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is draw a table line. So view and fit artboard and window. Let's grab the whole thing here. Let's go ahead under the star. Let's grab a line segment, and let's go ahead and if we hold shift as we do this, it'll go straight up. Now let's make it about 4 inches tall or so. So it's going to go up past my artboard, and that's okay. Alright, then let's go ahead and turn it. So I can do it a couple different ways. I can have my rotate arrow and do it. So if I do my rotate arrow and I hit shift, it'll go in perfect degrees. So now let's go ahead and make it a table. So let's grab it from the center here, bring it down underneath my bowl, and kind of see how it intersects in the middle. And let's make it a little bit bigger. So let's add a stroke, and let's make that stroke kind of a darker brown, and let's make it a couple points. Alright, so I can close that and see what I've got as far as my table goes. Now if I want to change the length of that path, I can click on there. If I hit Alt, I can drag in and out. If I hold Alt and Shift, I'll get a straight line. So you can kind of change the size of that line as well. Let's go ahead and drag a rectangle across all of those and do group. So we have all of those together. So I'm going to go ahead and break this into another part so that this will download in faster elements, and I'll pick you up in just a little bit.